Right now on News 3, a local family asking for justice tonight as no criminal charges are filed in the death of a windsurfer. Plus, how the Madison community is honoring victims of gun violence as part of a nationwide movement this weekend. And another excuse to get out and enjoy our local trails this summer. Dane County Parks celebrating a new bridge that's connecting communities.
This is News 3 at 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. Family and friends of a windsurfer killed by a UW life-saving boat last summer are responding to news that the Dane County DA will not file criminal charges. Yu Chen's family is hoping for justice, though, through another avenue. Our Madeline O'Neill explains.
It's been a long year of feeling adrift for family and friends of 43-year-old Yu Chen.
He's always there for you. He doesn't really think about himself.
The windsurfer was killed on Lake Mendota last summer by a UW-Madison life-saving boat.
We thought that the DA's decision could come sooner than this.
The decision is out. A release from the Dane County District Attorney says investigations found staff on the life-saving boat not criminally liable. It says no drugs or alcohol were found in their systems, and it's not clear how the 3 crew members didn't see Chen, but it's possible the boat blocked their view. Still, friends and family want to know where to cast blame.
For us, just the family will be more at peace if we really figure out what's going on and who's really responsible and what happened on the boat that day.
So the 2 things that are incredibly frustrating to the family and the community is the delay and the misstatement of the facts.
Chen's family attorney, Jay Urban, says while the decision itself is not surprising, some information in the release contradicts his own investigations.
For example, wind speed, who is looking at what. He makes a comment in there, for example, that they can't see out of the boat. Well, if they can't see out of the boat, why are they using that boat?
The Dane County District Attorney is responding, saying the information came from the Sheriff's Department's investigations, and that while he would be interested in Urban's findings, he didn't believe the attorney wanted to share them at the time. Urban is planning to file a civil suit claiming wrongful death against the state in about a week.
Mrs. Chen was supported by her son. So they're the only 2 people that were each other's family, their sole means of support.
Well, we want justice, right?
In Madison, Madeline O'Neill for WISC News 3.
Along with the DA's decision, the UW Police Department released a review of the lake safety program, pointing to some training issues. The report found a lack of training and a lack of documentation of what training did happen. It recommends requiring annual testing, plus a better database to keep tabs on updated training. Chen's family says that report is a step in the right direction. All right, a cool Saturday in the books and a mild Sunday ahead, too. Let's turn it over to Dave Caulfield with your first alert forecast. Hey, Dave.
Cooler, mild, and breezy for our Sunday. But before we get there, we have to get through a couple of showers and thunderstorms making their way across southern Wisconsin late this evening. You can see that main line that we're watching just going through Lone Rock, just about to enter Dane County at the present time. It is packing a punch over the last couple of minutes or so. We've still received some reports of some small hail and pretty gusty winds, as well as some brief heavy downpours. So if we are closer to Madison over the next 30 minutes, we should start to see some raindrops. But right now, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies in downtown Madison and the Edgewater Skycam. Current conditions 65, humidity at 84%, that dew point right around 60. Temperatures in the mid-60s for the most part, but a little bit closer to Lake Michigan. Definitely cooler. 51 in Sheboygan and in Milwaukee, Waukesha at 54, 65 in Madison, 63 in Mineral Point. Dew points are pretty high, as you might expect for rain being in the vicinity, but not too bad. It doesn't feel overly humid outside. More comfortable air is in town for tomorrow and Monday. Wind speeds kind of all over the place right now with those storms in town. Again, some gustier winds in those thunderstorms definitely possible. Your day planner for tomorrow starting off in the 50s, partly cloudy and partly sunny skies as we head into the lunch hour. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 60s, close to 70 for highs. When I come back in just a few minutes, we'll talk about warmer temperatures coming back our way in your first alert forecast.
All right, thanks, Dave. We've got kind of an odd first alert traffic note for you tonight. You might be noticing more dead deer on the side of the road. That's because the DNR is no longer in charge of picking them up, citing budget constraints. Instead, it's now the Department of Transportation's job. The DOT says it's working hard to clean them up, but more carcasses are found as fast as they're being removed. If you hit a deer, a reminder, you're asked to call local law enforcement. A Madison police officer is at home tonight, recovering after a hit-and-run crash that flipped a squad car early this morning. Police say it happened on the Near East Side on Willie and South Patterson Streets just before 3 a.m. The car hit the officer so hard it flipped the squad. The officer is out of the hospital and expected to be okay. The driver, meanwhile, ran off. Police are still looking for them tonight. A Janesville man is behind bars in Illinois in connection with a string of car vandalisms that hurt a toddler. The News-Gazette in that state reports 53-year-old Kevin Casey is accused of shooting out car windows along Interstate 74. The newspaper also reports a woman said shards of glass hurt her 3-year-old son when their minivan window was shot out this week. Casey is in Champaign County Jail. He's facing charges of aggravated battery and criminal damage, among others. A New Berlin principal is apologizing to students and parents after an anti-Semitic quote was printed in yearbooks. One student's quote in that yearbook reads, "There will always be one true final solution." That's a common reference to the Holocaust. The Milwaukee Jewish Federation says they've worked with the New Berlin High School District in the past after other anti-Semitic incidents, even bringing in a Holocaust speaker and offering anti-bias training. One parent says she wants to see the district use this as a teaching moment for their students. Every year, the start of June is a time for gun reform advocates to wear orange as a way to honor victims of gun violence. 96 people die from gun violence every day in the U.S. Here in Madison today, the local Moms Demand Action Group is taking the weekend to remember the work that needs to be done to change those statistics.
You know, when bad things happen, a lot of times people don't want to look at it, or they don't know how to engage with it. And this is a way to say, we see you, we honor you, and we're keeping your spirit and the spirit of your loved ones with us as we fight for change.
Moms Demand Action has seen a huge increase in members lately, with many saying enough after the Parkland shooting. Their goal is to make sure legislators take gun reform seriously. Folks in Milwaukee also remembering victims of gun violence today, and in Chicago, where the Wear Orange movement all started. People there celebrating the life of 15-year-old Hadiah Pendleton this weekend. Pendleton was a high school honors student who was killed by a shooter back in 2013. If you're interested, you can find more information about the movement online at wearorange.org. Day 2 of the state Democratic convention in Oshkosh is coming to an end tonight. Today, union iron worker Randy Bryce and schoolteacher Kathy Myers got to take the floor in hopes of winning over party activists there. Both are vying for House Speaker Paul Ryan's seat. 5 Republicans have already filed to replace Ryan, who announced earlier this year he would not seek re-election. Also on the convention agenda, narrowing the field of candidates to run against Governor Walker. 10 of them had the chance to speak there, and so did 3 Democrats running for state treasurer. Back in April, voters rejected an amendment to eliminate that office. Now Democrats say they're working to restore the powers that have been taken away from the treasurer in recent years. That primary is August 14th. To national politics now, the president is keeping a close eye on developments with China tonight as both countries continue with threats of a trade war. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross is in Beijing for talks as the Trump administration works to lower the trade deficit with that country. The tension comes after the U.S. imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum from Canada, Mexico, and the EU. Those countries are planning to retaliate with tariffs of their own. The president says he's open to negotiating new deals with them. In Hawaii, where molten lava is still destroying homes near the Kilauea volcano, police are now arresting residents who refuse to evacuate. Thousands have already been forced to leave, and now tourism is taking a hit. As video of the lava is broadcast around the world, the Visitors Bureau says lava impacts less than 1% of the island, but hotel bookings are down by 50%. Back home, the Dane County Parks Department is connecting communities tonight, literally. There's a new bridge that ties McFarland and the southeastern portion of Dane County to the park and trail system here in Madison. And to celebrate the completion of that bridge, the Parks Department hosted an event at Lake Farm County Park and at McDaniel Park in McFarland. The event featured fun outdoor activities like boat rides and, of course, some nature walks. It's the perfect excuse to get outside and check out these 2 local gems connected by trails right in our own backyard.
Dane County and the city of Madison and all of our villages and towns are blessed with great natural resources, great parks, and great settings for people to enjoy themselves.
The event also included a battle of the community leaders, where law enforcement folks, nonprofit workers, and members of the media, including me in there somewhere, went head-to-head in some tough competition. WISC-TV is a proud sponsor of the event. The finishing touches are being put on the new Milwaukee Bucks arena, but management at the BMO Harris Bradley Center are looking back at the past 3 decades of big-name events held there. They're holding an online auction featuring 350 iconic items. Some of the highlights: guitars signed by Prince and James Taylor, and a Tony Hawk autographed skateboard. You can make a bid starting Monday at 10 a.m. through June 12th. Preview the stuff that's up for grabs right now at greatlakesauction.net. Still ahead tonight on News 3 at 10, a Madison congregation is working to preserve its home and the history of Frank Lloyd Wright, how they're planning to save this national landmark after the break. Welcome back. A local nonprofit is trying to expand so it can provide more families a home away from home. The Ronald McDonald House is adding more rooms and community space to house families with sick kids at the American Family Children's Hospital. The building currently has 18 bedrooms, offering a place for more than 28,000 families to stay over the past 25 years. Organizers have spent the last year and a half raising money for an expansion. Today, they're asking Madison to help make the finished product come to life. A Madison building constructed by a famous architect is in desperate need of repair. So one organization is setting out to restore history. It's a sacred place in the heart of the city.
From outside, you see the entire roof line of the building rising up to the heavens.
A national landmark nestled in downtown Madison.
This is a building that is significant in church history and also in architectural history.
It's the Unitarian Meeting House, designed by Wisconsin architect Frank Lloyd Wright in the 1940s.
This is an expression of Mr. Wright's architectural genius and also of his faith.
Wright was a member of the congregation there, like his parents before him.
He believed in the unity of all things, and we see that reflected here in the design of the church.
But this reverent building is facing collapse, with many much-needed repairs.
The trusses in the roof are starting to fail, and the roof is starting to cave in.
Rose Detmer and the Friends of the Meeting House are trying to raise more than $2 million for the cause.
This renovation is actually critical to the continued structural stability of the building.
This month, they'll be lifting the roof off the building and fixing what lies underneath. They should have a new copper roof on by fall.
And now we want to get the average person in the community involved.
After receiving grants from 2 major Madison foundations, they're reaching out to locals to make ends meet so that it can stand tall for years to come.
It is a significant piece of artwork that we want to preserve for future generations.
Artwork indeed. If you're interested in donating to that project, you can visit thefirstyunitariansociety.org. And if you're looking for a different way to give back to your community, there's a great opportunity tomorrow. Reap Food Group's annual Burgers and Brew fundraiser is happening all weekend over at the Capitol Brewery. From 12:30 until 3:30 tomorrow, you can buy a $40 ticket for 2 burgers and 4 pours of beer. All the money raised there benefits Reap's work to increase access to local food and bring healthy options to school cafeterias. And a great day to be out and about enjoying a burger and a brew.
Oh, absolutely. With cooler-ish weather, but still not too bad. A little bit on the breezy side, and we don't have to worry about any thunderstorms like tonight. So yeah, not too bad, not too shabby at all. High temperatures for today were in the upper 60s and low 70s across southern Wisconsin. About 20 to 25 degrees cooler than this time last weekend. If you remember, we were in the 90s, and we have had 4 90-degree days so far this year of 2018, and over the last 3 years it's been everything showing up 6s here. 2017, 2016, and 2015 we all had 6 90-degree days. Not many at all in 2014, 11 in 2013, and the year that I left off here is 2012. That's when we had 40 90-degree days or above. So we'll see what end of the spectrum we come out on, especially after the end of this month. No 90s in the immediate future, but maybe toward the end or toward the middle of this month, to be more exact. High temperature trend, as I mentioned, no 90s showing up over the next 7 days, but we will be above average once again by the middle of next week with temperatures in the mid-80s. So Doppler track, we've been talking about this line of showers and thunderstorms. It continues to move closer and closer to Madison. Within the next 15 or 20 minutes, we'll start to get some rain showers. It does look like the bulk of the stronger precipitation is going to head south of the city, but don't let that fool you. Some of these storms still could pack a punch. High temperatures across the area in the 60s and 70s, even some 80s as we head a little bit closer to portions of Illinois and a little bit closer to home. 71 in the Dells, 70 in Mineral Point, 72 in Platteville. Right now we're in the 50s and 60s, definitely cooler closer to Lake Michigan as you might expect for this time of year. Dew points in the 50s and 60s, so not too bad outside, but definitely could be a little bit more comfortable, and I think we get that over the next couple of days. A live look in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam. Current conditions, we're getting our kicks on Route 66 right now. Future track showing these thunderstorms quickly moving out of the area. By the time we get to tomorrow morning, we don't have to worry about them. Some clouds may be around for tomorrow, but I don't think we need to worry about any rain showers. Temperatures will be a little bit on the cool side, but still not too bad for this time of year, and we'll be back into the 70s and 80s before you know it as we head into next week. Ride the drive for tomorrow. It is looking very, very nice, folks. Breezy, but definitely pleasant outside with low humidity temperatures in these low 70s by the time we get to the early afternoon. So let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll reach highs in the mid-80s by the time we get to the middle of the upcoming week. Then the temperatures start to get warmer toward not this coming Monday, but next Monday. 87 for that day and 90 by the time we get to day 10 on Tuesday. So if you're a fan of the warmer weather, it does come back a little bit closer to the middle of this month. So just hold out hope for that period of time. But for the rest of us, we'll definitely take a break for the air conditioning and just feeling nice outside.
Enjoy those 80s. It's gorgeous weather.
Exactly. It'll be hot later in the summer. We can get there when we get there.
We'll break out the kayak sooner or later.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Well, one track star going for state title number 2 this afternoon. Melissa's got the highlights next in sports.
You make
Well, the WIAA State Track and Field Championships wrapping up after a busy 2 days at UW La Crosse. We start with Janesville Craig's Peyton Sippy. She had another big day. She took first place in the 3,200 meter yesterday, and today, already far ahead of the pack there. She's competing in the 1,600 meter final, crossing the finish line first. And then in Division 1 girls 100 meter dash now. It's Allie Dorn from Monona Grove on the outside. She would be on the bottom of your screen there. And this is a close one, but she finishes first. She crosses the finish line first to win the gold for the Silver Eagles, earning the team 10 points. In the Division 3 girls, this is the 100 meter hurdles. It would be Emma Lawrence from Benton earning some big points for her team by crossing the finish line first. This would be huge as we show you these standings in a moment. And the title for the fastest athlete in girls Division 3. This is the 100-meter dash, a lot depending there on how you get off the block. And Haley Durst from Ithaca doing just that. She wins the state title in this event. To some boys action now in Division 3, the 110-meter hurdles. Keep your eye in the middle there. That's Grady Riley out of Darlington. He crushes the competition for the Redbirds. He also had the fastest qualifying time yesterday. In the Division 3 boys 4x200-meter relay, where the handoff of the sticks are very key. The Cambridge boys with some exemplary handoffs. Spencer DeForest with a huge lead to anchor the team on the final leg there. Finishes at least 3 seconds ahead of Wild Rose. Here are your final standings for state track this year. In Division 1 girls, Waukesha West taking the top spot. Madison La Follette and Monona Grove finished tied for 5th place. On the boys' side, Kimberly dominating in Division 1 yet again. Middleton finishing 11th, Waunakee in 15th, and Oregon in 18th. In Division 2 girls, Edgewood and Edgerton, they are the top finishers from our area. They tied for 6th. And for the boys, Lodi did have a healthy lead midday, but Rice Lake overtaking the Blue Devils for 1st place. Lake Mills finishing 6th. To Division 3, Benton Co-op with the team state title on the girls' side. Hilbert, Stockbridge, and Cuba City, the other teams in the top 10. And last but not least, for the boys, Cambridge with a 19-point advantage for the Division 3 state title. Darlington finishing 5th. Division 1 state tennis now. Neil Rout from Oshkosh West taking on Colt Tegmeyer from Madison Memorial. Neil serving there. They get a good rally going, but Colt hitting it into the net, point to Neil, and he would win the first set 6-1. Colt taking the second set, so in the third here, a little more back and forth. Colt, though, with the approach here, hits the forehand winner down the line. He takes the final set 6-4, and Colt Tegmeyer, he is your Division 1 state champion. To the Brewers now, an update on first baseman Eric Thames. The team expecting him to start a rehab assignment with the Brewers' extended spring training team in Arizona on Monday. Now, Thames tore a ligament in his left thumb when he dove for a ground ball on April 24th in Kansas City. Now, meanwhile, the rest of the team in Game 2 against the White Sox today starting off strong. Eric Kratz sending this James Shield pitch out of there to left field, 1-0 Brewers. The team thoroughly enjoying all the home runs today because they hit 3 more after that, including this one in the 8th inning. Jesus Aguilar with a 2-run blast, 5-0 Brewers. That would be the final score. And on the mound, Julie Chassin only giving up 3 hits over 5 2/3 innings. Rubber match tomorrow at 1:10. The Packers' annual green and gold charity softball game at the home of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers having a different feel this year. It's been hosted in the past by Brett Favre, Donald Driver, and for the last few, Jordy Nelson. But Clay Matthews and Devontae Adams, they are your guys now. They are your hosts after Jordy no longer on the team. Matthews making quite the entrance here, something reminiscent of LeBron and maybe a combo of WWE here. But what everyone is talking about, Matthews, getting that ball to the face. Off of the hit off of O-lineman Patrick Lucas. Somehow he made his way to the dugout, the PA announcer telling the crowd that he's okay, don't worry. Now Clay himself tweeting his thanks to everyone and says he'll have surgery once the swelling on his face goes down. Now Devontae Adams, he was there on the field, saw everything happen in person, says nobody is as tough as Clay.
Scary because you hear a little crack. I didn't know if it was glasses or what it was, but yeah, you never want to kind of watch something like that unfold. But Clay is the MVP for getting out of here. Like I said, if I would have got hit in the nose like that, I don't think I would have been able to get off the field like as quick as he did.
I don't think anyone really would have. But anyways, finally tonight, Tiger Woods climbing up that leaderboard at the Memorial Tournament. Another eagle for Tiger today on hole 5. But later on 18, he had some trouble putting. Has to settle for a bogey to drop to 9 under par. That is where he stands right now, tied for 7th place. I smell some Sunday Tiger Woods action tomorrow for the final round. Coverage starts here. Right here, rather, on Channel 3 at 1:30 in the afternoon. And Tiger Woods has been playing kind of on and off, a little up and down, but pretty well in the last couple of tournaments. So hopefully some good stuff from him tomorrow. I know a lot of people will be excited to see that.
All right, we'll be watching. Thanks, Melissa. We'll be right back. All right, Dave's got a final check.
We do have that line of thunderstorms continuing to march through really into Madison over the next couple of minutes, and a little bit closer to 11:30 for Edgerton and Janesville and to Oakland as well. Getting closer to Milwaukee by the time we get to about 1 in the morning.
All right, keep an eye on those. Thanks for joining us tonight, folks.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.